All right, folks. Jonathan Otto is back with red light therapy. This is taking the internet by storm. The med bed hack, the whole thing, man. Dude, you're a busy guy. You've been really, really busy. Have you gone on Tim Pool yet?
Yes, yeah, I did, and I'm going on his show again next week.
Wow. Well, is it discussing all this stuff?
Yes, yeah, it is. Next
You
week
can
it
pat me
is.
on the back a little bit, right?
Oh, bro, I appreciate you, man. You're my homie. I love you, bro.
Dude, no, this has been breakthrough stuff, man. Audience, I really hope you pay attention to this because it's a life changer. It's a game changer. Now, I'm going to show this. I call it the sandwich effect, and I'm going to show it on my end, what I've done in my house, right next to my bed, folks. This is it right here. Boom, there it is. So that's what I'm doing. That's the red light. I lay on the mat. There it is. It's frequencies on both ends. So to me, everything's about preventative disease, man. And this is just about feeling healthier, feeling more. I feel more emotionally balanced. I sleep better at night, folks. This is how I set it up. Do you see that little? And if you look at the mat, I laid it just on the couch. Obviously my room's not that clean, and then the red light is kind of L-shaped over it, and that's what I'm doing. So that's the desired. That's kind of like what you want, right, Jonathan? Like what
Yeah,
I have set up
absolutely.
right there.
You've got an insane setup, man. I love it. And it's so effective because you're replicating what God has made in nature, but you're making it so much more powerful. So the red light is about up to 40 times more powerful than the sun for its healing benefits, but
40 times more powerful than
yeah,
the
and
sun.
people can say anything, but put it into ChatGPT, and you'll see what I'm saying is exactly true, and it's going to reference the data on that. The magnetic field strength, like the amplitude out of that device, is a million times stronger than the Earth's magnitude amplitude, and then the magnetic field is 150 millitesla versus the Earth's magnetic field is 0.0005 millitesla. So it is leagues different. So if people are grounding, if they're in nature, it's amazing. And I encourage people to do it. But the reason why this is working like a med bed and regenerating people is because it's amplifying the Earth's fields as well as replicating these sun's frequencies, but doing so at a much deeper and more beneficial and amplitude.
I got to tell you, I've been feeling a lot better. I go to the gym, revigorated. I feel like I have a lot more energy. I'm sleeping better. Dude, the results are just off the charts. Now, I am taking a lot of supplements with this, but dude, the whole goal here is not to go to the hospital, not to get sick, because what I'm dealing with my parents, bro, it's a nightmare. All the answer for everything is pills. Pills, 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 till it's coming out of your eyes and your nose and your mouth. It's disgusting. That's all they have an answer for. The premise here of this show, folks, is not to get there, not to have to go to the hospital. First of all, I think myself and my audience after 2020, who really trusts the medical industry, the hospitals anymore anyway. So that's my belief, and that's why I'm so gung ho on preventative measures.
I love that. Yes, you've done a great job. And you're an example of somebody that is using these, med bed hacks to deal with real world issues in your own life, in your parents' lives, and other loved ones. And so, we're getting to the bottom of these solutions for regenerating our organs, whether it's the kidneys, the liver, the brain, the eyes. Each of our organs are reliant on the mitochondria that are within those cells. And when those cells receive energy, light, they produce energy, ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Now they use that for all cellular function, and all of a sudden you feel energy in your body. But most importantly, your cells are able to do what they're supposed to do, and you're amplifying your ability to convert into oxygen and nutrient delivery. And both light and pulsed magnetic fields are doing that and helping the body and the organs perform properly. When your organs are functioning properly, your health is amazing, and disease just does not, thrive in that environment.
And an important point to this, folks, there's no radiation coming off these devices.
Zero.
So people need to know that. So you've actually tested it with a Geiger counter, correct? You had like a
Yeah,
radiation
exactly.
device,
Yeah, I've got
uh,
one right here.
and it shows that there's nothing, zero coming off that. Now your phone, that's a different story.
You
So
got a
you need
lot.
to balance things out. I mean, we're being inundated and hit every day, saturated with cell phone towers, your cell phone, different things all day long, television, computer devices all day long. Foods, well, we don't know what we're getting in our foods, the chemicals in the foods. You might as well do something that's healthy for you and going to help you live longer. I mean, you got to balance it out. And this is the only way that I have found that I feel a drastic, not a little difference, but a drastic difference in my health. Seriously.
Yes. That's awesome. I love that, man. No, thank you for what you're doing to educate and advocate for the technologies that actually work and give people their lives back. And, I was just looking at this MAHA initiative, Make America Healthy Again, with desiccated thyroid, like from animal gland versus using the toxic versions like levothyroxine and Synthroid. And there's an initiative there to give people natural solutions, and that's with improving thyroid function. That's one example. And now our studies on thyroid function with light therapy is exponential, where you're seeing that a 12-month study on enlarged thyroid with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is one of the most common thyroid diseases in America and internationally, 96% of the participants went from an enlarged thyroid to a normal sized thyroid in the 12-month study when combined with
Really? 12 months.
yeah, 12 months,
And this is doing
96.
it every day or once a week?
Yeah, in most cases, the thyroid studies are as little as 20 minutes twice a week. And,
Wow.
and even a study that was only 5 weeks, they found that close to 40% got off their medication just after 5 weeks
Wow.
of treatment.
Wow.
And then 47% had reduced antibodies. And so imagine when people do that over the course of 12 months. And that's why, as I mentioned, the 12-month study, 96% get their thyroid function back. And if the thyroid went from being enlarged to normal size, it means that it went from inflamed to not inflamed. And the reason why it was inflamed is because it was trying to heal and it couldn't. But you've just assisted it in its healing because you gave the cells in the thyroid energy to be able to go about what they needed to get rid of that root cause that was causing the toxic inflammation. So this is why it's working. And in the same way it works for the thyroid, it's working for the liver, for the kidneys, for the brain. And people who've got inflamed brain, they've got memory loss and fatigue and their cognitive decline. And this is why you're seeing people uptake in their abilities to process, to be able to correct mood, which is why you had a dramatic recovery in your feelings of anxiety and depression. And countless people are reporting these same symptoms because it's giving the cells what they need.
I gotta say, like I've battled with depression my entire life ever since I was a kid.
Wow.
And I don't know if that's genetic or what it's from. That's kind of why I went into boxing and the whole thing like that. But this device has helped me feel more emotionally stable without pills. So, they've always tried to prescribe things for me since I was a kid. But this device, the red light itself, just makes me feel good. I used to kind of get that feeling coming out of when you have a good day in the sun and you're out on the beach or whatever, you feel good, that melatonin, the whole thing. This, though, I mean, you do it from your own bedroom, man, and I get like 10 times more the effect. I just feel better, more vibrant. My skin, dude, I'm approaching 50 years old and I don't have a wrinkle. Like it's just, and I don't know if it's from this or also the collagen and probably everything I'm doing at once. I put collagen in my coffee. I mean, you got to stay ahead of the ball. And this is one of the ways to do that. And it's breakthrough science. Actually, you're just discovering what God gave you.
You got it. Yes, you understand it, and that's the power that you have when you understand how the cells work, how they need energy, how you can, just get to the bottom of these issues that normally are just, crippling. And you'll see that in some of these studies here to reference the results I was mentioning there. You'll see that was the study there, as I mentioned, where 96% of the women reaching normal thyroid size in 12 months, and this is in large thyroid. This was specifically with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, typically thought to be impossible to actually solve. You can only medicate it. You can just use supplements to maybe remediate some of the issues, but really there's no real hope for people. And then it lowered harmful antibodies, improved hormone balance, and reduced the need for medication. Patients also experienced weight loss and better body measurements. And that means that people are improving the fact that it's impossible to lose weight when you've got any issues with your organs like your thyroid because you can't produce hormones naturally, and therefore you suffer as a result of that. Post-stroke, you're seeing these breakthrough results because you're improving oxygen blood flow. And this is the reason why people are having cognitive decline. But by getting to the root of this issue, by giving the brain oxygen, and it's interesting to think about that PEMF and light therapy improving oxygen, but that's exactly what they do because they're causing the cells to undergo how they create oxygen and how they produce nitric oxide and 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗃 oxidase, and that's how the cells will actually breathe. It's cellular respiration, and that's why it's so effective. Arthritis. How many of our friends or family or us, people watching are dealing with
So this is
arthritis?
called photobiomodulation. That's what
Yes.
this is. Okay.
Which is light therapy. Yeah. So photo, light, bio, life modulation to change.
Right.
You're changing life with light. And so, yeah, this is how people are reducing pain, stiffness, reliance on medications without side effects, and fibromyalgia, widespread pain and fatigue over a 4-week period. Patients or participants that got red light, they got less pain, improved quality of life, and able to enjoy leisure activities. And the benefits lasted for up to 6 months. So even though they only had it over 4 weeks, it lasted 6 months. So this is not like how you think about medication, where after 24 hours it wears off. In this case, it was structural. It changed their lives for the next 6 months, and it's really just almost unbelievable. Same with lupus, and because it's modulating the mitochondria. Notice that the mitochondria are being damaged because of toxins, and then once these energy powerhouses are damaged within the cells, you really can't get it back unless you're doing something that's reviving how your cells produce energy, and that's why light and pulsed magnetic fields are getting to the bottom of that issue. Sperm motility in men, weird picture. Apologies for the picture. That makes no sense.
We're
It
having a
makes me
good time
come.
together. Jeez.
Makes those guys don't look like they need this. Anyway, they don't need their sperm motility to work because anyway, I'm not going to go into detail there.
Let's go to the next one.
Yeah, but it makes good comedy. But like they're interesting things because if somebody's not even trying to fall pregnant, but a man or a woman, if they can improve their sexual health and their fertility, you'll actually improve all areas of your health, even if you're not trying to fall pregnant. Like so, your testosterone is linked to your sperm motility, regardless or not whether you're seeking fertility and pregnancy. So these are really amazing breakthroughs. Look at these spectrums here. So like what you're seeing behind me is a 9 wavelength device, which is all of these wavelengths here from red and near infrared. And then you've got, 480, 590, 630, 660, 670, and then the 800s to 1060, which is all the near infrared getting deeper into the subcutaneous tissue, muscle, bone, and interior tissues. And by doing this, you are then interfacing with the mitochondrial health, you're increasing stem cell production, as you are with pulsed magnetic fields, and I'll show that shortly. Lupus, fibromyalgia, arthritis, stroke, Hashimoto's, diabetes, neurodegeneration, eyesight, and these wavelengths are all proven. They're working for these conditions, and this is all independently tested on meters, which I've got a meter here. It tests those wavelengths to show that that is in fact working and doing what it's supposed to, which is just kind of really cool. So this is how this meter will work. But so I can just put that in front of the device and hit play, and now you'll see the wavelength spiking here, which shows that these
Show
are
that on a full screen.
yeah, I will. Nice, good
Let's take a
idea.
look at that. So, hold on.
Yeah, okay, just
This
fixing
is
that.
interesting. So you're actually going to show the wavelengths.
Yes, exactly. So
What is that?
yeah, this is
That's
a
on your
meter.
phone?
No, it looks like it.
Oh, okay.
It's this BN 320 device, which is testing the wavelengths that are coming out of that device, and it's showing me here that it's peaking at 630, 670 into the 800s with the near infrared, showing that all those wavelengths are actually coming out of the device as advertised, right? But
Wow.
you wouldn't know unless you put a meter against it, and then you just saw the chart that shows that those wavelengths are
So
doing
your
what.
skin, your body, your cells are absorbing this.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And then so that's how that works. And then you've got, these pulse magnetic fields. And this is the device you've got there in your home. Here I am in a hotel. And you'll see this device here.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. The
Yeah.
PEMF, Matt.
Yes, you got it. And then now
So
if I can,
you literally don't leave home without it.
yeah,
You don't leave
exactly.
home.
Yeah, because there's studies on this with insomnia, where insomnia was, 69.5% no longer insomniacs after a few weeks of treatment. And then now, why am I gonna, go home, leave home without it?
Do you sleep on it or you just lay on it for
You
a certain
can.
amount?
You can sleep on it, absolutely, and it's very effective to do that. And then so and then you're basically just getting this into your body, and I can now here I've got this magnet on here, and it's shaking this magnet, which is you hear that?
Shaking the magnet. I don't get what you're saying.
Okay, so this is a magnet in here.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
Oh, I see it resonate. Like, yeah. I could see it. What does that mean? Yeah, I see it bouncing up and down. Yeah, it's going crazy. What is it doing?
It's pulsing the magnetic fields of the earth through your body. So if I put this on the ground, it's not going to do that, and that's because we've got about
Okay,
100.
so what do you have the box? I know it comes with a box and with um
Yes,
there it
this
is.
here is an
No, that's
easy
not the is that it right
controller.
there?
Yes, exactly. This is the newest controller. And then here you've got I've got the frequency at 15. I can put that frequency up. We can put it down on 10, and these different wavelengths or in the frequencies are proven for different.
Wow, yeah, I could see that magnet jumping up and down in there, man.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's why it works. And I'll show you guys some studies on that. Whoops. Okay, ready? Let's see. I'll take that off because that's kind of noisy.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, how cool is that, right?
Yeah.
Um,
So is it good to turn up the frequency all the way on just both? That's what I okay. I'm gonna be honest. That's what I do with both devices.
yes, exactly. No,
That's what I do. I just put them both. I
yeah.
put it on level all three levels on the red light, and then on the PMF mat, I just turn it all the way up and I lay on it. I don't. That's
Oh,
just
yeah,
what I'm
exactly.
doing.
No, that's great. So what
Okay.
people should do is use Google and ChatGPT to say, okay, well, I've got chronic pain, I've got fatigue, and then say what frequency on PMF is proven for this. And it's funny that 1 to 30 hertz range, you'll see that 1, 2, 3, 4, those are all very proven for fatigue, and then 15 is proven for various autoimmune conditions, and even 30 is proven for different things. So you do kind of have to change it a little bit, but just it's a quick Google search, and it will say these are the tested
I mean, you
wavelengths.
can get everything, anything, and everything on Grok and Chat GPT now, dude. I mean,
Exactly.
it's just
Exactly.
changed the game. I mean,
It really helps, and I'm glad you're saying that, and so that people can see here as well. If you look at the studies here on pulsed magnetic fields, like this is what we used in our devices, the 1 to 30 hertz range, and it's proven there. So you could see when it was used for early stage knee osteoarthritis, over 9 sessions, 1 hour each, the patients that received treatment, and they saw a drop in pain within 1, 3, and 6 months. Pain relief continued for up to 6 months. Again, pulse magnetic fields are working so well to correct these issues with pain and knee osteoarthritis and other autoimmune conditions. The magnetic field strength, we used 150 millitesla, which is the highest clinical grade. And here you've got the mechanisms, you've got the fact that human stem cells, when tested at 150 millitesla, showed key healing factors like collagen and vascular endothelial growth factor, bone building proteins. And these are what help create new blood vessels, essential for tissue repair. That's why we use these frequencies. And then we're using the 86 to 158 degrees Fahrenheit. You've got, so this is what's
yeah,
improving.
then the mat heats up.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And then at the same time, you've got actually within the pulsed electromagnetic field device, PEMF, you've got red light because you've got the photons, green and blue light, because you can see those lights behind me. All those colors are there, and they're all proven for different conditions. And it's 180 milliwatts per centimeter squared at the surface, which is a clinical grade delivery. It's 20 times and 20% more powerful than the system that was used in this study. 12 sessions resulted in significantly reduced pain from the 10th session onwards, and the lasting effects FDA class 2 certification that were used on our devices. And folks, so you guys remember using that code Nino25 at myredlight.com, you're able to get 25% off. So you're making a huge saving
Isn't
there.
it on my red life? Isn't it just Nino?
Yes, yes. If you
But on
use
the PMF blanket, it's Nino 25 and Nino 30, right?
Yeah, but if you use Nino, it'll activate now 25% off. So whether it's Nino or Nino
Wow.
25, in either case, whether you just use Nino or whether you use Nino 25, it'll activate a 25% off discount. Now,
Wow.
getting it, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're getting a bundle, then use Nino 30, and that will activate 30% off if you're getting two or more items, and it will say that. So it's really clear on the page. But so then there you've got the device. It's the 1 to 30 hertz range. It's the 180 milliwatts of radiance, the 150 magnetic field strength. And then, yeah, there's the duo with the far infrared heat therapy, which is, it's creating the heat shock proteins. Sauna therapy it's the only therapy that can get your body into that hormesis, and which is basically stressing the body in a positive way that causes your immune system to accelerate by 30 to 40%, which you could change so many different conditions. It's a single therapy that will drop the risk of sudden cardiac death by 63% if
Jeez.
used.
This is
Yeah,
like a no-brainer. I mean, if you care about your health, folks, this is it. And this is not going to a doctor or like, this is just using what God gave you, basically. The science, that God gave you, man. To me, it's just a no-brainer. I don't know, Jonathan. I don't, I don't think there's much to think about here for me. I just like to feel good and be able to have energy to go to the gym. Now I think the best vitamin is vitamin E, vitamin exercise, right? But this
yeah.
allows me to do that, and that's why, for me, this is everything. This is all I need, and I use it this morning, and I'm going to use it again tonight. And folks, this is how you should start your day and end your day. So the best place to put this is in a place that you're going to access it, which is obviously in your house and next to your bed is where I put it. I put it in a couch next to my bed.
Yeah, you got it, man. You got it, 100%. And before we run as well, this one here shows that PMF for the big C, it specifically targets the big C cells while leaving healthy cells unharmed, and it's slowing the growth of these cells, triggering cell death, pushing them to a state called senescence where they stop multiplying. And normal healthy cells weren't just unaffected, they actually showed signs of improved health. So that's a very selective therapy that's getting rid of the bad cells and helping the healthy cells, help these big C cells. Not only they displayed cell death, but also senescence. Normal fibroblasts were not affected. And that's the clinical study backing that. You see all the conditions here with autoimmune and fibromyalgia with PMF. So light therapy does it, PMF does it. And this is the reason is because you're replicating the Earth's natural field. If you're out,
Balance.
you're on the ground, you're grounded, and you're in the sun. But now, what if you could times that by 40, 50, 100, even a million times with PEMF? Then you can get into healing, because a lot of people are on the ground, a lot of people are in the sun, but they're not getting better. Think about the thyroid studies. Most people have their thyroid exposed for more than 30 minutes a day to the sun, but they're not getting better because it's not intense enough. And that's why we're able to improve that without it being a harmful thing. It's very safe. No adverse effects of the 100 million people that have been treated clinically with light therapy. And same thing is true for pulsed magnetic field therapies. It's improving bone density. It's stopping muscle loss for our parents and people that are losing muscle. It'll stop that, or it will work to remediate that issue and manage that issue very successfully. And the studies are just amazing. And so people are aware as well with the device behind me. What you'll see is 9 different wavelengths in this device. So it's the 9 most proven wavelengths. And we've got the dual lights. So every light has both red and near infrared coming out of it. So it's a dual system. It's using a 42 mil chip, which allows higher power delivery, which is over 200 milliwatts per centimeter squared at 3 inches. So these are the things to look for when you're looking for these types of things. And we made it really affordable for people so that all you have to do, you could use a payment plan system, or you could just get it outright, but it becomes so much cheaper because your other things, like you get a supplement like this here, happens to actually, funny enough, that's my company there. And it's funny that I'm saying this because people reordering, that's great for business, but I really want people to be self-empowered. And sometimes things can become really expensive. Like ordering that for the year will be $600. And for a family of four, that's $2,400 over the next 10 years. That's $24,000 for a family of four like mine. Whereas this will be a fraction of that, like, 10 times less. or even 20, 30, 50 times less because you're using it for much longer than that. If I want to double my dose, then my cost is doubled. You're using it twice a day. So now, and you could have every family member using it. It becomes
I'm a believer, dude. I'm a believer, and that's all I can say. I am. I love this device, and you can't keep me away from it. I even have the portable panels that you could take with you, and I take those whenever I travel. I take one with me, and I put it up, and I just sit in front of it. It's just amazing. Jonathan, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much. Where do people go?
Yeah, sure. So you go to myredlight.com, super simple, super easy, myredlight.com.
I'm gonna
Use
have it down there on the bottom. So folks, just hit the link below. Use code Nino on the My Red Life, and then PMF Matt. It's Nino 20 and Nino 20, Nino 25 and Nino 30, or what is it?
Yeah, exactly. And whether it's the red light devices now, so it's super simple. Myredlight.com, use the code Nino or Nino25 for any single
Okay.
items, whether it's red light or PMF, and whether if it's a bundle of more than two items or two items or more, then it's Nino 30. You'll activate the 30% off discount. So super simple, super easy, and people can easily just get started by just going to myredlight.com and doing that. And I just wanted to prove what I said before because it sounds almost unbelievable. This is ChatGPT. The field strength of the Earth versus the power of a PMF device that is of the clinical grade that we have there, a million times stronger for the amplitude difference.
Jeez.
150 millitesla. Some clinical systems go up to that. That's what ours go up to. So it's a clinical system at a consumer price, which is crazy. And then look at the comparison there, 0.0005 millitesla. It's
No
huge.
comparison.
Yeah, and then pulse magnetic field versus static, and then frequency range 1 to 100 or 1 to 30 hertz,
Wow.
which is the best range, and then 0 hertz, no pulsing for the Earth. So you're just going to get better results when you're harnessing this system, and so it's really simple and
That's
straightforward.
incredible, man. It
Yeah,
truly is incredible, man. This is breakthrough stuff, folks. And really, you should not question it. You should just be like, you know what? What's my health worth? It's worth everything, and it's worth the shot. So, you know what, Jonathan, thank you so much for joining me, folks. I'll see you next time, Jonathan. Man, you got a busy schedule. You're catching fire, dude. Like
yeah,
you're all over the internet. I'm seeing you everywhere. I'm like, hey, man, that guy kind of started with me a little bit. I
yeah.
feel pretty good about that.
Oh, dude, you're a blessing, man. You're a good person. You love seeing
Thank
people
you.
get better, and it's just a beautiful thing, man. And we just we're seeing people get their lives back, like seeing people in their 90s get their eyesight back, seeing people that are bedridden with thyroid diseases because they can't function anymore, and they're able to get back to competing marathons. I've documented all these case studies. People in chronic pain, DD 9 out of 10 pain score, quit a job, $50,000 a year that she was foregoing, gets a red light belt. Like you can go to our page and just get a red light belt. You could get a full body device like this. And she went to a 0 out of 10 pain score,
Wow.
no back pain anymore, back to life, just like you. And then she got a career back. So it cost her nothing. What did it do? Gave her a life back. And that's what I was proving there. 40 times more energy than the sunlight. And that's the equations there. But you just and look, I mean, it's all mathematical, right? So look, it's pretty intense. So pretty cool,
That's
right?
insane. Thanks,
Yeah.
Jonathan. All right,
Thank you.
folks, get at it. The link's down below. Appreciate you, brother.
Cheers, brother.